Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, it's like Mason. What
Hey,
is
they're,
up, Toss?
they're together today.
Oh,
We're in person today, bro. It's crazy.
what's
What?
up with that?
Yeah, I checked
Yeah,
actually.
this isn't real.
It's AI.
How you guys doing?
So, Adam, you traveled down to see Tony?
Yeah, so he's letting me have or he's letting me borrow one of his desktop, like an old Mac desktop that he has because my MacBook is having issues and I don't feel like paying for a new MacBook at the moment. So I drove down to the beach to get this set up, to get this machine from Tony. And I'm just gonna crash at his house tonight and then head home tomorrow. So
We're gonna snuggle.
yeah,
How far are you guys from each other?
like 3.5 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's why you buy a Windows computer, brother.
My screen, remember last call, my screen wasn't working and I was set up on my TV. Basically, I got a new screen in to have it replaced, and that screen turned out to be bad. Like it didn't even work. So yeah, it's just been a headache, like with computer issues. So I just had to come down and grab this to just take care of it, get it out of the way.
But Adam's coming down for real in May, which I'm pumped about.
Yeah, I am moving down here in May.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
Yeah.
Cool.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Mason, how you doing?
I'm
Billy?
in Rochester right now. I had to work on my brakes today.
Okay.
My car brakes. That was a shit show, but they work now. So
Yeah. Everybody's got stuff that's broken down. If you guys are wondering what Mason's talking about, he's got some car issues that he's talking about.
yeah.
Billy, how's it going, man?
Dude, good. Just coming off a couple hectic weeks. I've worked like the last 14 days in a row. Just crazy working on video stuff for some of my existing clients. So just kind of finally slowing down just a little bit, getting some
That's
stuff going.
cool. Yeah, you've been a little bit quiet the past few weeks. This past week you've been a little bit quiet.
Yeah.
I was getting worried.
No, sorry. I just having a hard time getting communicating because as soon as I'm done with that, I gotta help with my kids and my wife and doing all that stuff. So just kind of been hectic. I've been washing the content on niching down.
Mm.
So I'm kind of getting at that point where I'm gonna pick. I have three kind of ideas within niches that I want to go into, but I'm just still got to do all the niche calculator stuff and still working on that.
Cool. Well, we can chat about that if you want to just like
Yeah,
brain dump and we can kind of go back and forth if you'd like, if that would help.
yeah, like because that was my question that I added. I know we're kind of hopping into it a little bit, but my question was is my mother-in-law runs a really successful permanent makeup studio. She's been doing it successfully for years. And I haven't really done any. I don't know any more of the information of if permanent makeup's like a good niche to get into or not. But my question would be like, is it better to kind of go in a spot that might have some more connections in because that could be like I can already use my mother-in-law as a case study to help, and it would be a lot easier to do like a revenue split with her on bringing in clients and things like that and having that kind of conversation instead of just picking something that I don't like, just trying to find some extra clients in a different niche or things like that. That was just kind of like what do you guys seen in the past that works with that? Does that seem to be more successful than others or
Yeah. It's not black and white, right? It's not like, hey, that simple factor will make you successful in this particular niche versus it won't. There are multiple like facets. I would say that, having somebody in your corner will definitely help you. And it's definitely something you should consider in making a decision. But like also, it's important to just understand that like the only way to scale is to be closing cold people through ads. And so
yeah,
that's the number one thing. And so I'm looking at like total available market, lifetime value. I'm
mm,
looking at, can you get a fast cash injection for them? How long can you keep somebody on? Can you do a revenue split down the road? How long will ads work for? How long can you get them results for? Like those are the kinds of things I'm really looking at. And good news is that's actually a great niche. Permanent makeup artists, tattoo artists, like if I could go back in time, like if I was running my own agency, I was literally thinking about this like today. And as I was driving, I was like, I would totally go into like permanent makeup artists or more specific, I was thinking about like tattoo artists
yeah.
because those guys are just super easy to get results for.
And it's
So
it, and it's also one of those things too, because like my mother-in-law offers so many different services and things like that. It's like the lifetime value of customers is well over a couple $1,000 just because like she has so many different services to offer. And now she just started doing like ear piercings and like belly piercings and all that whole 9 yards. It's like it's just a whole different thing that I've been thinking about this weekend. So
Yeah, I'll share with you. I mean, I don't know if you're in like a time crunch, but if you've got some time, I'd like to run through people, but then I like to spend some time kind of like
yeah,
talk to you about some of the stuff that was brewing in my head. There's like only one thing I can think of when it comes to like those kinds of niches that's kind of like got me to think. But again, I'm thinking like scaling to the moon. And so
yeah.
it's just something to be thinking about. Like, but if that's something that you're interested in, like I think you'd find success relatively fast in that one.
Yeah. So I don't have a huge time crunch this time. I probably got to be out in a couple hours, but not like nothing rush. So we should be good.
Cool, man. Um, Jacob, I hope you're doing well, man. I think I'm guessing you're driving.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Don't crash and burn on us, man.
No, I'll try. I'll do my best not to.
Mr. Booth, how's it going? It's been a while.
Yeah,
Boothinator.
man, it's been good. It's up. I
The
was
guy
visiting. Hey,
what's that?
yeah, I was up top in the States for a while. Pretty cool, man.
Where
Hitting the
were you?
snow. Utah mainly.
Utah.
Yeah, I remember you saying you were hopping into Utah. I didn't know if you were there the whole time, or if you got to move around. How was your trip in Utah?
It was really good, man. But things are so expensive over there at the moment. Hey, remember last time I went, it wasn't so crazy. Everything's just gone stupid. But
Really?
yeah, man, it was good. Got heaps of powder, which was good.
Uh, is stuff not like expensive out in Australia? Like, is inflation not like through the roof over there?
Yeah, it is, but then you got to convert it back as well. So like Australian dollars, like 62 cents. So everything that was like 65 cents is like $1 Australian. So that was pretty crazy. But no, it was good, man. I
Yeah.
kind of miss it. Sure, it's still there.
I, anybody in here from Utah or around Utah? Yeah, really?
I was born in Montana, but I lived in Utah most of my life. So yeah, I'm here all the time. It's great. It's a good spot to live.
Yeah, that's good.
Is stuff like through the roof in terms of pricing, Billy? I saw you nodding.
If we're talking like ski resort stuff, like so what happened is a couple years ago, Vail Resorts bought all of Park City. There used to be three different resorts in Park City, but Vail bought all three of them and merged them into one. And the prices went from like you could do a day pass for like anywhere from depending on the resort, like 50 to 80 bucks. And now most day passes are anywhere from 100, depending on it depends on the pass. I haven't been up in Park City a while, but last time I checked, it was like 120 to $300 for how much the passes cost. And that's only been in a couple of years. It's not like it's not like a huge difference, but it's like, and they're talking about like season passes and stuff. They used to be like, you can get a season pass for $1,000, but now you're like minimum 2 to 3 for most of the resorts. Like you can get some deals and things here and there for being like locals and stuff. But besides that, it's like all of the ski resort stuffs have gone through the roof, and like hotels up there too, and restaurants have just skyrocketed in price. So
Ooh, you picked a good time, Booth.
yeah.
Guys, really quick, Booth hopped in a few months back and then had to go do some traveling, had to go do some stuff. He's back here with us right now. Booth, a brand new group of guys. Then when you left, you want to really quickly just introduce yourself, man, to this
I
group
do
of guys?
remember Tony. I think Billy, you might have started, mate. Yeah, no, I did the 3 months. I think about a month ago it expired. I did niche down to a physio client that kind of ghosted me after paying me, but she's finally come back. So now I'm just in the process of doing the shoot next week, getting all the content, and doing email blasts this week, and just funnel hacking, trying to figure out what type of funnel to build for her. So that's where I'm at with it at the moment. So yeah, can't wait to get back into it and start, get the ball rolling with her.
Cool. Good stuff, man. Cool, man. Well, that being said, guys, we got a smaller group today. Should be a faster coaching session than usual. I think Booth, you were first up in terms of yeah, you're first up. In terms of if you message me, Booth, please message me. I'll send you a video I send people once they start service delivery. So there are a few different options you have in terms of like how to go about doing research, like a niche expert versus funnel hacking versus what have you. So if you want to message me, I'll go and send that video over to you, and that video will tell you pretty much what you need to do, and then it'll give you a call to action in terms of what we'll be waiting for. So it'll be like, hey, here are your options, and then you pick and choose what you want to do, and then you do the thing, and then you let me and Mason know, and then from there we'll go and review and be like, here, we think you should run with this strategy, we think you should do this, and here's why, and then you can go out there and so that's kind of the plan of action once it's time to do service delivery.
Sounds good.
Aside from that, man, like what else, like, did you like, what are some things that maybe you wanted to chop it up about? I know you said you didn't really have any questions, but anything you just want to
Yeah.
like, anything you
I
want to
just
talk?
getting an offer out for, she's got a client list of about 200 people. So I've put that into Go High. Just figuring out what offer to send out to all the previous clients. In
Okay.
regards to that, I haven't really looked into Go High very much, might be a Mason question, but obviously the email that it sends from would be from her profile, but obviously I don't have access to her email to respond. How does the email blast work when it's coming from the client?
So you would just type in where the email is like coming from. So it would say like if her name was like Sam, right? It would be like sam@physiotherapy.com. You'd send it from there, and if they respond to that email through Go High Level, it instantly goes to there.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's actually super simple. You don't need to like grab access to her emails or anything along the lines of that. Once you send emails through Go High Level, you'll receive them to the same email.
Cool.
Leads, clients. So a few things, Booth. Again, there's obviously like Mason's gonna be your guy as you like work through doing some SMS stuff and reactivation. Like Mason's got a lot of experience with that. Something that we talked about, I think it was the last coaching call or the call before, we had talked about how you can like segment out people from like existing clients, past clients, and then leads. And depending on who they are, you can have different kinds of offers for them. So like somebody that is already a client, is the same offer is not going to work for them as like a lead. Like let's say you've got like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu clinic, right? You're not going to offer a free 1-day pass to your existing clients. They're going to be like, what the hell? Like that's not going to make a lot of sense. Versus these people, it's going to make a lot of sense. And then your past clients, you're not going to probably offer that either because it's probably not going to work. They already experienced it. So you're going to want to do something like, hey, we're doing a boot camp where we're teaching this thing, and we need 3 spots that we have to fill up, so we're offering a 20% discount. Would you like it? So if I'm you, I'm going to take her list, and then I'm going to, again, I don't have like the tech, and like that's something you can work with Mason about, or I'm sure that maybe there's other resources to like figure out how to like divide this, or maybe get the physios help to divide it, and then like craft together messages for them, and then you can run that by us. Another thing is watching the training from the 9th. So this training right here, I forget specifically where, I don't know obviously specifically where it is, but this was just such a fantastic training where Daniel, he's not in here today, but he broke down how he was doing an SMS blast for his client. And I don't remember all the details, but I remember, we broke it down, everything sounded fire, and then there was something that I had like a light bulb moment. I was like, oh, here's what we could do to push it to the next level. I shared that with Daniel, and he was like, oh, that makes a whole lot of sense. So I would just watch that part of the SMS stuff and kind of hear what I said as well. And I think that could help you as well in terms of the SMS stuff. One other thing that I'll just kind of share, this is for Tony and Adam specifically, but I think this applies to everybody actually. This is some secret sauce that I will that just applies to everybody. So I would everybody be taking notes on this one. Is one thing you guys can all do is at the end of each month, right? At the end of each month, what you can do is you can take all of your leads that you had a conversation with that you did not close. And what you can do is you can reach out to them and you can say, hey, look, we are trying to hit a certain metric, a certain number this given month. And so because of that reason, we have a few spots available and we need to meet this quota. And so we're offering this insane discount. But we only got a certain number of spots until we hit that number. Is that something you'd be interested in? So that's another huge thing that you can do, Booth, as well. And this is, again, this applies to everybody. This applies to if you're doing it, like literally, if I were to go back in time, I would do a reactivation. I would definitely do the reactivation stuff. So the way I would do it maybe is like week 2 to week week 1 to week 2, I do the reactivation, then week 2 to 3, and then from week 3 to 4, I would manually be calling every person, every single freaking person. And actually more specifically, I would be calling the people that have not taken something up. You can go even further. I would definitely call up every single person that has not taken an offer up, and then I would do the urgency scarcity. And the people that have taken something up, maybe if you want to upsell them, you can call them again. You say, hey, again, we got this quota thing, da da da, and we want to throw this additional thing in here. It's going to be another 25% off. Does that make sense, guys? So those are a few things you guys can do with your contact list. Those are a few things you can do with regarding the SMS blast stuff boost. Does that kind of get the wheels turning a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's a lot. I know I just shared a lot with you.
Yeah, that's fine. I need to do something.
Yeah. So there's a lot there, and you just kind of like pick and choose your poison. I really like the thing of like calling every single person one by one towards the tail end, and like there's no way you're not going to get some people to convert from that, for sure.
That sounds good. I'll definitely do that.
But yeah, man, those are my thoughts in terms of SMS. Anything else that you had going on, or anything you just want to bring up, and maybe I can give something. Maybe Mason, some of the other guys can give you something to help you.
I think I'll go through that video to find out. I think I've been funnel hacking quite a bit, so I'm thinking of maybe just stick with that. But yeah, I'll check that video out and I'll get back to you.
Okay. Yeah. So three, I guess, like, yeah. So three things is, one thing is like watching that. The second thing is, watching that video that I'm going to send your way after you message me on like how to do service delivery. And then these are just a few ways that you can handle SMS. And I think just with that stuff, she'll be happy. If you're able to kind of reactivate some people, I think you're going to get like a lot of grace as you try to figure out the ad stuff. Anything that you want to throw in there, Mason? Anything that comes to mind to help Daniel out?
For physiotherapy, not really. But I'll do some research and see what if I can find if anyone else is doing anything in there. Or I'll look
Oh.
at some snapshots because I might be able to find one.
Good stuff. Cool, Booth. Well, that's pretty much what we've got for you, man. Anything else at all?
Nah, that's all good, man. Cheers.
Cool. All right, man. We'll circle back if you're. I know you gotta do a hard out here at 7, but if you're hanging out, we'll circle back.
Yeah, I'll keep listening in. Might not be on the face, but I'll be listening in. Cheers.
So I think Adam, Tony, did you guys get a chance to read some of this stuff?
We did, yeah. We read it at the beginning of the call, so we were chatting about.
Okay. Thoughts on the stuff that we went through, that I brought up?
So we were wondering, would it be safe to just get another list from Fiverr? Do you have any specific people or like any methods that you would recommend as far as getting a list from somebody on Fiverr or Upwork or something like
Yeah, our person didn't do a good job. They gave us like pet shops, more or less, e-com pet shops and stuff too. So we sent like a retort, like, hey, fix this, and we'll see. I don't have a lot of money invested in that though. So I don't know. Maybe we're asking for like a specific person if you had, but we're looking into different methods too. We know about like there's like an AI method where you can make like a bot basically on a Mac and have it like repeat what you've done over and over and over again, and then take that list and scrape it and put it into GPT. But yeah, I mean, it was disappointing. We waited like a while. We gave them extra days and shit, and like they didn't come back with gold. And the first time we used it for something else, they were like perfect, right? It was like exactly what we looked for. This was like a 500 list instead of a 50 list, and they botched. So
Yeah, and right now I'm building a manual list of groomers in Jacksonville, which is a little bit north of here. We were thinking about building that list and then using that to get a lookalike list. If that works, like how big does it need to be in order to get like a legit lookalike list from someone?
Yeah. So Mason maybe can chime in first of all to answer your first question regarding finding a list, because I know, Mason, you didn't you find like a big ass list of like med spa business owners or something back in the day? So maybe
Yeah.
what you did with that.
Yeah, I probably did the same thing that you guys are doing. I just went on like Upwork and Fiverr and I just talked to people. Um,
Do you
what I
think you
was
might?
gonna say, I was like, honestly, I wouldn't let putting a list together necessarily hold you back because sometimes like your targeting to be better without the list anyway. And that's kind of what I've seen too, because remember, I don't know if Iman's here, right? Yeah. So I gave him a huge list of medical spas, and he, I think, split tested between two of the different targetings. And I spent a couple, I think I spent $100 or $200 on getting the list, and I don't think it performed really well for Iman. So I wouldn't let that necessarily hold you back in terms of like getting your ads launched. Like I would get those launched ASAP. But in terms of like tips for just getting the list, I think that if you have someone scrape and make sure that they include LinkedIn, that will help you out like a lot as well. If they have a LinkedIn, because I know you're just like, hey, give me like the company names, their email and phone number and stuff along the lines of that. But like I've had a lot of success where if you make people on Upwork scrape with LinkedIn, like it's just going to be better for you. It's not going to be like e-commerce brands and stuff. That's what I've seen personally. So I don't know if that really helps, but that's all the feedback I can really give.
Are you using the LinkedIn? I mean, we definitely had that same directive, and he gave us LinkedIn um, links for those people. But are you using those within LinkedIn or like on Facebook ads to like target them that way too?
What do you mean?
How are you using the LinkedIn links?
So
He's
no, no,
using.
no, no, no. I'm not saying like the LinkedIn links. That's where they're scraping from. So there's different ways that you can start scraping from. So for example, like let's just say you typed in like Google Maps and you typed in like pet groomers or something, right? You can
Mhm.
scrape from that list. But if you go into LinkedIn, right, and you type in like pet groomers business owners, you can start scraping specifically those people instead. So what I'm saying is instead of having where like I don't know exactly where your person is coming from to scrape their list, but if they scrape straight from LinkedIn, you should have like way like higher quality and that should be a lot easier because you won't
Right.
find like e-commerce people. You see what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
know? Do you know the
So
methodology by any chance, or what they're doing to get the leads for you by any chance, or no?
do we know their methodology? How they're
Yeah,
doing it? No.
no, or what did you guys specifically ask them? Like, what was,
Um, well, we made like a lead list for dentists that turned out really good in North Carolina back in like November, right? When we were kind of like not in coaching yet, but still in the process of like learning the course. And that was like golden. That worked out like perfect. So we basically like, hey, we want the same thing, but for pet groomers. We have another client that we had them generate some for like a metal consulting client. And they did like a bang up job with that. This time they were like 7 days late. Somebody got sick, blah, blah, blah. So it could just be a fluke, or it could just be like that's run its course and we need to find another way. But it's good to hear what Mason said, that like just a very basic list where we just put in like pet groomers and pet salons and things like that may even perform better than a generated lead list. So that's cool to hear.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So a few things. What you're telling me sounds almost like a quality issue. Like somebody on their team like had a falling out. Like the guy that was helping you guys out maybe is not part of the company or some crap is happening. So I don't know if you have the ability to have a conversation with those guys to go a little bit deeper and say, hey, look, I don't know what happened, but these people that helped us out last time were fantastic. I don't know if they're available to help us, but we'd request them. I don't know if it's possible to do
I
something.
ran into the same thing because I was scraping gyms, but basically they came back, but like, or maybe no, maybe it was like medical spas. I think I scraped medical spas first. They were giving me like hair salons and stuff, and I was like, hey, like I don't want hair salons. So then I actually did it again, where I bought a list for gyms, and then inside of the prompt of like Upwork, I was just like, hey, like I'm looking for gyms, but I'm not looking for, and then I named like Planet Fitness, any CrossFit gyms, like all these things. I was like, none of these are gonna count toward the 1,000 leads I'm paying for.
Right. Yeah, we did the same thing, but with like PetSmart and pet supplies and like
Yeah.
pet stores and shit. And like we were all busy when they sent it. So I was like, okay, I'll look at it. And then, by the time our time was up, it was whatever. But they're gonna make it right, or at least attempt to.
Yeah.
And whatever. I just didn't know if you guys had another method, or if like I know Hermosi talks about apps and AI apps and stuff that he uses to scrape.
If you
So I
think about it too, like that might not be the worst thing ever to like not have a huge list of people that are kind of in the same space. You know what I'm
adjacent.
saying? Like, I don't think that's such a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even though they're not necessarily like your most ideal client, if it's like Facebook will be smart enough to figure out like who you're looking for.
Okay.
And kind of circling back to like the very beginning of this, which is like the advice Mason gave you guys, like that, like just targeting people, guys, like could be better. Like I do remember when I'm on, we had a few people that were Mason gave the email list to, and we had a few people that were doing lookalike versus the interest. Some people was interest, some people's lookalike, which goes to show you like, hey, it wasn't like blowing anything out the water. And I think also kind of going back to your thing that you asked me, Adam, of like how many people, like at least 500 people. I'll
Okay.
tell you until this day, man, I've got an email list. I don't target like lookalikes of our purchasers. I still don't do that. I could do that. I could like throw an email and target that. I still don't do that until this day because that's not like the best audience for me. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't stress or think too much about it. If like that was the main concern is like, hey guys, like we're trying to get our ads launched and we want to have the best fighting chance. I wouldn't stress about it too much.
I don't think that's what we were waiting on entirely. I mean, we're still like, we have our two ads basically edited. The landing page is in the process of being edited. The funnel's basically done. Automations are done. So I don't mean to jump ahead on this, but like I saw that you said, I think it's on number 5 on this. Yeah. I mean, basically, should we, even though it's not complete, we have those two ads, you're like, run those right away, more or less. Right? What do we run them to now? A lead form quickly and not run them to our funnel, or run them to a funnel that's not complete, or yeah? Okay, we'll just see if it works.
Yeah, like when I built this funnel up back in the day, I ran ads from I went over this last week, I think, where I had my 24K page and then my app
Yeah.
page, and then it came to this page. And initially, when I had this page, I believe I didn't even have a video up here. I just had like this danky video I created through Loom, just because I wanted to do proof of concept. I just wanted to prove that people could get all the way through the funnel and that they would actually DM me, and they did. And once they did, then I actually created this video. So literally, I was hopping on sales calls, closing deals before I even created this video, which essentially just goes to prove like, hey, if the offer is good enough and all that stuff, like they'll go all the way through the funnel. You can literally have a super danky video. You could have your video that's supposed to be on your thank you page and like not even edit it, or just like cut out the buts and ums and post it for the time being, and like that'll be good enough.
Word. Yeah. That sounds cool. That sounds cool.
So yeah, um, going back to this first one though, like I guess that so my assumption was like it was for the ads. Like what, I guess what is the reason for the emails then?
Well, it was twofold. We were going to try to reach out directly to a few people to see if we could get a few of the offers that you were talking about.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, our person is flaky, and that's, I think, number 4. Like, she was cool with our call. Our call was like 2.5 hours. She gave me like her whole playbook, basically. But in terms of meeting her for content and, using her as a case study, I don't think that's going to happen like this month, which really sucks because we were waiting for her. So now we're on the hunt for those people. We were hopeful we were going to use like that list and like go up one city and like just crush that list and find like 2 candidates that want to work with us for that quick, fast cash injection kind of vibe. And the second part of that is, yeah, we wanted to use it as a lookalike audience for just general marketing.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Um, yeah, I would say, I mean, your best bet might be for now is like, just carving out, an hour to just like Google Maps it and just find a list of people and just ring around, just say, hey, this is what we've got. You interested?
And then try to get like 3 or 4 of those net because we really want to get like 3 or 4 case studies and 3 or 4 testimonials and like
I mean, like I would say it's not the I would say so. I came from an angle of like you guys said you guys had this lady who you had a relationship with and you had done work with and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, if it's a great relationship, right? Kind of like, what Billy's talking about with his family member. If it's not a lot of friction, like go for it. But if it's something where it's like it's gonna be a lot of like, dude, I gotta call, I gotta build a relationship, I gotta build rapport, I gotta do all this stuff. It is not the best use of your time compared to just getting the ads launched. And again, I left you a voice in terms of like the content that has to be on that thank you page to make it convert. You're much better off just doing that. You're
Yeah.
much better off. You're gonna get much more traction just doing that. And yeah, like that's my thought. So like even like I'm like the only reason to like call a bunch of these people and do that stuff is like maybe for like market research at this point, just to like help you with your marketing. Like that's it. But like you don't necessarily need to go out there and film and do all that stuff. Like you can get away without that stuff for the time being.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I mean it's a bummer. She is a family friend and she's like was 100% willing and she's got like ER bullshit happening and family stuff and husband's being deployed and like sky's falling and I can just feel like it's the third call in a row she's punted and I'm like, it's not working. So
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. It's frustrating.
yeah. But it's not the end of the world. I mean, I think that we just fly without testimonials for now. And, unless you think it's a good idea to keep like our testimonials from the FEC, but they're not dog related. So it's kind of distraction, right?
Yeah, you just need to have something that is congruent, honestly. Just have something, just put something on there that's congruent. It doesn't really matter.
We use like some of our results that we've got for the gym, even though we don't have that many conversions, we have gotten like what 60 plus leads for them in a few weeks.
If you want to, if you
30
want to,
leads.
yeah, I mean, if you want to put that on there, just make sure it doesn't say gym or anything like that, or Photoshop out the word gym, for example. Like that's the kind of stuff that I would be doing. Just be careful there. If you have other testimonials from other people, and again, if you can make it come across as like it's for like pet groomers, like go for that. Like that's kind of the main thing. Just make sure it doesn't show like other niches.
Okay.
And again, I wouldn't spend too much time and energy on it. Like, don't. It's not worth the like spending extraordinary amount of time and energy on that. It really goes back to like and you guys will get to this part here soon. I shared this. You guys are going to start to experience this. And that's what I'm waiting for you guys to experience, which is like, you have your sales call, your discovery, your sales call, and then you have objections that occur, and then you go back to these questions. You ask yourself, what can I say to kill the objection? What can I say to get them to buy into my method, to buy into my team? And that's you just refine your marketing. That's gonna be your thank you page. So we're gonna constantly refine our thing. That's how me and Noah and Aman came up with their pages. Aman's page looks different than Aaron's page, looks different than Noah's page. And every single person's page looks as it needs to be depending on how their discovery and sales calls went. So with Aman, he kept having this issue of like, hey, what makes your method, your thing unique, so that we create that specific video for that, for him, for that. So it's just like having something there as a placeholder, just have some testimony, have some stuff that we know is relatively important, and then we'll let the discovery calls and sales calls tell you guys what additional content you need. So hopefully that makes sense, guys.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's this stuff. I would say out of like our entire call, I would say this is the most important thing out of all the stuff that we brought up, like this right here. This is going to be like my red alert if I'm you guys. And then, yep. What else you guys got in terms of questions, comments, concerns, guys?
I think you covered everything we had. Thank you.
Well, there's one other thing. Tony or Adam, probably Adam, did you figure out the metadata issue or no? Because I'm still working on that.
No, I don't think I mean, I think I did it right.
Okay.
For our funnel, it's since we duplicated, but actually, Mason, we're actually not using that page anymore.
Okay.
That was like a more complex thank you page and we switched to the
Yeah,
more
we
simplified.
yeah, Koshik advised, so the background was just too busy on that thank you page, so I have a very simplified, cleaner version. So
Okay.
the metadata should be fine on that one. I'll just I'll double check and make sure it says what we want it to say.
Okay.
Appreciate that though.
Yeah, no worries.
I think that's it.
Cool. We'll circle back if there's nothing else for the time being, guys.
Sounds good.
Mr. Aman, what's up, man?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Just, just going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's too much of an update with everything right now. I know Jennifer just paid for 2 months. So yeah,
Dr.
that one.
Dr. Jennifer paid for another 2 months?
Yeah, so she wanted to pay month by month, and then she was like, well, I already paid last month, so I'll just pay for 2 more months, and it'll be like the equivalent of like the 3 month package. So she did like kind of paid off the rest of that. So it's like, okay.
You get a discount for that or no discount for that?
She got what the discount would be for a 3 month. So it was like her 2001 that she originally pitched. So it was like the 750 of the 2001.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about that little trick to get people to pay it off?
No.
So I think she did like naturally what people do. You have to kind of push them. So I think I'll just go and bring this up because I think it's important for everybody is if you guys ever hop in a sales call, and the reason the script is the way that it is because if you hop in a sales call and you say, hey, the price is, let's say 6,000, I can't do it. Okay, it's going to be, 2,000, I'm sorry, it's going to be 5,000. You can't do it. Okay, it's going to be $2,000 a month. And so what happens is like you're punishing people. You're saying, hey, you're poor. You don't have money. I'm going to punish you and make you pay even more money that you don't have. That's like psychologically, like logically what's going on. And then what happens is people will pay the 2K and then they hope to God and they pray that you forget the rest of it. And they just, like that's what happens. Versus if you do it the way that's explained inside of the script, say, hey, look, it's 2K per month, which is this amount of dollars. Or if you pay in full, for 3 months, you get a discount, da, da, da. Now all of a sudden it shifts their mind to be like, okay, I want to actually pay in full. And then in the event that they do a 2K or pay part of it, your goal is on the sales call. You have to tell them on the sales call, it's like, hey, look, I just want you to know, John, this is honored for the first 30 days. So as long as you cover it within the 30 days time, we're going to still go and award you that discount. They say fine. And then what happens in my experience is when you do that and you bring it up again on the onboarding, what'll happen is they'll pay off the balance without in the first case, they pray to God that you forget. In the second case, they pray to God that you remembered so that they can still get the discount, which is an interesting thing. So I just wanted to share a little bit of meta with you. So that's literally what happened with her.
That's really interesting. Yeah, because I've had the experience multiple times where they want to like I don't know if I'm just not positioning it right, but they always want to just do the first month to like test things out and then switch over from there. So I
Yep.
will definitely keep that in mind then, because then that way they can kind of go for it kind of quicker.
What I've also noticed is like you're gonna have some people that like they're just all in gung ho, they want to save the money, boom. And then you're gonna have people that can afford it, but they're not gonna pay the whole amount. And it's always like I always like logically, if somebody can afford the whole thing, they're not gonna be homeless, they're gonna be okay, and they don't pay off the whole thing. What does it mean? It just means that they don't fully trust you yet, always.
Mhm.
And so what I've noticed is exactly like your case, which is like your job is to always know that. Everybody just always remember that. Keep that in your mind. There's no other logical thing that's going on. And what you do is you just blow them away on your onboarding, blow them away with your first 1, 2, 3 weeks, get the amazing results. And again, you have to remind them of the fact that they can pay off the remaining, and they always do. Every single time, they always do without a shadow of doubt. Every time.
That's really cool.
So, cool.
Whatever happened to that like one lady that we were talking about like a week or two ago?
That was her.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
He got the lady that got him in like a terrible mood to do paid in full.
Hit her with she apologized to you and said, "Take my money." I love that. So what happened? Like, just
Yeah.
have like a really brief like.
Yeah, so I like reached out, scheduled another call with her, and then she like came in all like happy and positive, and she's like, "Yeah, so I thought about it, and I'd like to do like 1 month, like month by month, so I can just think of it as a trial. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I walked her through, made sure she was okay with the strategy, all that stuff. It just, yeah, ended off really positive. I just kind of let her know, like, hey, we can only do 2 revisions for a month. She's like, yeah, that sounds great. Again, I like don't know like where this positivity came from. And then when I reached out to her on the Slack about the doing the month payment, that's where she suggested doing the 2 months. So I don't, yeah,
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
I don't know.
That's like a
I,
complete 180. I feel like we were kind of in the quote unquote valley of despair with her, and then all of a
That's
sudden,
exactly, yeah. And like I was telling someone, I was like, I just boil all this down to a relationship, to be honest, because I don't even think my results for her were that great, but just was always visible and like, at least kind
human,
of,
yeah. I love
yeah,
that, dude.
just
Congratulations. That's really
thank
cool.
you, thank you. Yeah,
Me,
and
me and Aman spent quite a bit of time like going back and forth of like how we were going to structure the conversation. Like, Aman, first we say this and then we do this. Okay, we got to make
mm,
sure she feels. And so Aman and I just kept bouncing back and forth. And when he says that, like genuinely and truly, guys, like that's what it is. It's like just the relationship part.
That's
It's just
amazing.
a genuine, honest person that wants to lead with offering value, but also respecting his own boundaries and saying, "Hey, look, I'm going to do up to 2 revisions. I'm happy to do it your way," and da da da. And I think she realized she had more to lose than, yeah, I think she realized she had a lot more to lose by like messing this up with him. If that makes sense, guys? It's like I'm not going to get this relationship somewhere else. And I guess that's why she did what she did.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, pretty crazy. I was like, all right, if you want to do that, then do
what
that.
what else is going on? Anything else?
Um, yeah, I duplicated the asset and I got 2 leads like pretty instantly and 2 book calls. And so one of them I had a call with today. He wasn't a good fit. So the only 2 book calls I've got on this week, so 2 out of 3 so far hasn't been good fits. And then there's one more, and that's Wednesday. So I'm gonna text her again because she didn't respond to that first message. But hopefully she's like a decent fit. But yeah, if she's not a good fit, then I'll have to kind of think of like I'll see if I'm getting leads in the next few days, of course, and then kind of play it by ear. But yeah, pretty strange.
What do you think is going on?
Um, I don't know. I feel like the original one was hitting like the right pocket. I think maybe this new duplicate asset is not hitting like duplicate it once, it wasn't really getting anything, and then duplicate again, maybe hitting like a bad pocket. But because I got the leads pretty quickly, I'm pretty hopeful that maybe it was just like, a few just disqualified ones, and then maybe I'll get some. But I mean, I don't really know. Other than that, I mean, like it's hard to imagine that I've like exhausted all of Met Spas, especially at a $25 daily budget.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if that's just like a normal Facebook thing where because I think you mentioned something about like they want you to spend more to get higher quality or something. Is that true or no? It's just like it'll just take longer to find more.
I think I've brought up that like typically when you have a higher CPM, people look at it as a bad thing. And what I said was that like oftentimes I think that a higher CPM means that they're trying to go after like the cream of the crop in terms of those who are going
Mm.
to pay. That's just a tinfoil hat theory. There
Yeah,
are things that just don't make sense, right? Like it makes no sense how you can run ads and then scale and make, say $1 million with your agency, and then like your ads don't work anymore because you're just not profitable enough. But then another agency comes and runs the exact same thing and they can run it up to like $250,000. It's like it makes no,
right, right.
I don't get it, but it's one of those things. So it's like because like we're running like literally like Aaron's angle, right? And Aaron's not running anymore, which means it's exhausted for him, I think.
Mm.
It's been exhausted for him for like 4 months at this point. Like he's been running this other thing for like the last 4 months at least. So, and I remember when he was running it, granted he had other creatives as well, and I think he was like he was doing a lot higher of a volume than you were, I think, as well. Um, yeah, I have a hard time believing that it's exhausted. I think Facebook is just being Facebook and doing Facebook shit.
Yeah,
And what I mean by that, and again, this is tinfoil hat theory, but I get so frustrated because like you get consistent results, and then what happens, all of a sudden your results like cost double overnight, no fucking reason. I don't have a solution for that. I don't know. It just does it, and it's like Facebook's way of fucking you. It's like, hey, this is it. Like you are done past the honeymoon phase, and now we're gonna make your life difficult.
Yeah.
So I hope that you're not there. I don't. It's too early to say.
Yeah. I'm not too worried because yeah, I think like again, I got 2 leads right away, hoping that I can get some qualified ones soon. And then I have a bunch of like hook variations ready to launch, like 3 to 4 of them. And then worst, I mean not worst case, but then I would say the next step is like I shot that whole ad with my friend Lauren. It was like the same exact ad, so I can like test that too. I haven't edited, but I'm sure it won't take me too long to edit it together. And then from there, I don't know, if that doesn't work, then it would just be like as simple as, not simple, but it probably would have to be like finding that next angle.
Yeah. Um, I I my theory is that what's happened is my fingers are crossed, everything's fine. If it is not fine, what's happened is we've probably maybe landed in a pocket where it's like we've got biters, but maybe it's not the highest quality in terms of like, what you're looking for. And so then we would kill that ad set off. I would try to kill that ad set off and try it again. I would try to again, I don't like to create ads and creatives unless I absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
I would still duplicate at least once or twice more after this if needed. Um, and then after that, yeah, it's just and I don't think we're there yet, but like for example, you said like what is it, like 30 hydrofacial in 30 days?
Yeah.
So then it's like
So
another, it's like
I
okay,
think
so
it's like 90 hydrofacials in 90 days or something.
instead of 90 hydrofacials, 90, laser whatever in 90 days. Like
Right.
you can try that and keep like rotating between different things. That's something that we can try.
Yeah. Because then I can see if it's a link click issue. Because I think that's only once they click on the link. So if the link clicks are like looking healthy, then maybe it could be something like that.
Usually what I see is, again, this isn't black and white, but if I see a lot of link clicks, but people not opting in, it means that the offer is usually not good enough. I'm not complaining. It's like they're curious enough to click on the ad out of curiosity, out of interest, but then when they get there, like, no, I'm not gonna go and opt in and do all that thing. It's not interesting enough to me. That's
Right.
what I see.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
But we really do want to be like, there's this guy. He's one of the guys Matt Shields like mentors. He's like his agency, all they do is they service real estate investors like him. And then there's this other guy, maybe I'll send it to you, Aman. But like, dude, these guys are like pumping out creatives like every freaking week, man. Like every week I see a new creative. And like that's truly like what like you should be doing. Like every agency owner should be like, that's where your energy should be going, is like just pumping out creatives like as frequent as possible to drive book calls.
got it. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. If that's like what the agency world is doing, then I feel like then that's kind of like a mind chip thing for me because yeah, because I'm kind of used to the past few months where it's just like sitting on the same ad and it's like okay, this is good. But I mean, if that's what it takes, then it's just what it takes.
I mean, yeah, I just created that video in terms like order of operations of like things to focus on. And
Mhm.
that's it. Like as an agency owner, in my opinion, your number one thing is like, am I getting book calls? And if that means creating new creatives every week and making that part of, once a week, you're batch shooting creatives for the month, like that's part of the SOP then.
Yeah,
I think you're going to get there sooner or later.
yeah, probably. Um, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm like I really wish I just had that playbook because again, it's more that back end stuff that like I think at Facebook, any like kind of Facebook offer I can figure out for the most part. Even if I have to custom build it, but it's like it like I think if it's like a Botox specific like med spa, I can definitely build out something with like the package and like but like any of the weight loss stuff or any of the other things, I'm like, how do I build this out? But again, that's not kind of like a lower priority thing. It's just like kind of always there as I'm like talking to them, like, how do I help you on the back end? Um,
How are things going in terms of, I know you said, you know, you showed me that message with Graydon. Um, Jay hasn't responded. Um,
Yeah, I got one response from one of the MedSpot people, and she was like, "Hi, my husband Lewis is a coach for agency owners, and we help agencies in all types of niches to get better results. If you'd like to go ahead and message him to his profile, you can connect with him there." So I know she does MedSpa, so I'm sure he has more information regarding MedSpas that, won't be just like, because I'm kind of wary of people who are just like that can help in different niches. Like I want someone specifically for med spas, but I assume if his wife is a med spas, then maybe there's something there.
to me, I don't want to, jump the gun, but like that kind of message sounds to me like they're trying to push you towards a coaching program. That's what it sounds
Mm,
like he's trying to sell you.
yeah.
So I would just see if like, hey, look, I'm just looking for a consultation, just see if you can get one. Um, have you tried posting inside of some of those Facebook groups that I mentioned, inside the onboarding page?
Inside the onboarding page, no, I'm not too familiar.
So, so if we hop into, if you go to your onboarding page, Aman,
Mm,
if you scroll down, there's these Facebook groups. So I think going inside some of these Facebook groups and literally just like posting there and just seeing,
okay,
yeah, just let's see if we can kind of find somebody, a few
okay,
people raise their hand.
okay, yeah, that'd be great. Um, but yeah, other than that, I messaged a few people on LinkedIn, didn't haven't heard back from them, but I'll try the Facebook thing and then maybe even try seeing if I could get like their email and then hitting them from like a different place.
Also,
Um,
Terrell, I don't know if did you see Terrell's recent post?
no, I saw that he posted, but I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know how far
Um,
out he is, but maybe you want to shoot him a message. Well, I think he's doing, him and Aaron are kind of polar opposites, but I think Terrell's more like you, where he uses AI. Um,
mm,
so he's using AI to like get these book calls and stuff. And I know, like, I know he's been like at this for since all of 2023, really. So you might want to reach out to him and just kind of see what his thoughts are and where he is at.
okay, yeah, that'd be good.
So there's that. There's the Facebook groups. Those are a few different things. Um,
Cool, cool.
um, what else is going on, man?
Um, I think other than that, I mean, Dr. Jane, we moved his to like a WhatsApp campaign, and he was saying in the first initial days, like, hey, we're getting contact information and stuff. So, I'm gonna follow up in a few days. I assume if I don't hear from him in a few days, it's going pretty well. But again, I think that one's looking a little bit hopeful. So, hopefully if we can get some closes, then maybe there can be something in the lipo niche or like plastic surgeon niche we can look into. Um,
Another thing I thought about is, and I should have put this in the learnings lesson. Maybe this is something you might want to put in there, but it's like, I don't know. Again, I have to see how you're doing your sales calls, but like, I don't know if you're making the guarantee, but like one thing I would do is I would make the guarantee and say like, hey, our guarantee is this under the assumption that you are going to convert 20% of the leads. So you're putting a
mm,
stipulation in there. So for example, if you had hit that with Dr. Jane, we would have been fine with him, for example. It's like, hey, we guarantee this, but you have to have a conversion rate of this, which is a pretty industry standard conversion rate. So we have to do that. And we have to maybe even prime them on this earlier on the sales call and be like, hey, do you think that you can close one out of this number of people? Yeah. Okay. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. So when we get to make an offer, they already agreed to and gave us a mini buy-in.
that's great because now what I do now, I didn't do anything with him. I just gave him the guarantee. But with everyone else, what I've been doing is like assuming you call all leads, do all like I think there's like two more like hit recommended or make sure you run a recommended offers, those kinds of things. Is that still good? Because I think he's basically still doing that, but he didn't hit that. So that's where I like the 20% thing. So should I go for more of that 20% angle? And the way you get there is by following our offers, doing like calling all leads and stuff.
And then also I've got a line that I use on my onboarding, which is like, hey, we're going to get you an IR dash line. Your job is to close. Again, we went over this on the guarantee. I just want to drill this. on average, you should be able to close X% of leads. Again, whatever the number is. Assuming you can, you're going to be more than fine. Our job, the moment, we end this call, we're going to get everything launched. The moment we get it launched, you're going to get clicks, you're going to get leads, you're going to get name, image, phone number. We're going to get our AI to get people booked in, but it's ultimately your job to make sure you follow up with all the leads, regardless of whether AI does or not. And it's your job to carry the football into the end zone. And so you must convert at X%. So you do a double, triple tie down right there as well. And then you're fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I feel like I was kind of pushing more in that direction. I've been using the 90-yard dash line analogy too. So I think, yeah, by the end of it, yeah. And one thing I also need to do, because I have the 2 clients that I closed, I did the whole onboarding thing with them, but they never like filled out the forms and stuff. And like one of them I've been reaching out to, like I think I've sent her 2 follow-up texts, haven't heard a response from her. The other one was like kind of waiting for like a content videographer thing. So I would just say something like, and she's like, sorry, we're delaying it. I was like, like that's fine because that's like more on them. But I would just say like, hey, I went ahead and responded to you in the Slack channel. So I'm gonna follow up with them today. They're a little bit more responsive in that sense. That I think, but it's just kind of weird that like we did the onboarding, we did all these things. So I kind of want to do it where they have to fill out that form before the onboarding so that I can at least start working on their stuff. And, at least if they see something built, then, it's just a matter of like getting things launched and stuff.
That makes sense. I agree. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
But other than that, I think that's pretty much a catch up on everything.
cool, man. Well, yeah, keep me posted in terms of the book calls this week. I don't know. I mean, I hope this doesn't feel like too much work. I'm not even saying a suggestion to do it, but I'm, a huge advocate of like tracking all numbers so I have an idea. So for me, like, for example, like all of last month, I was looking at my conversions of people that hopped inside of, I'm looking at like a 10% conversion rate of those that purchase our low ticket stuff to purchase our mid ticket stuff, and 10% of those people to purchase like our high ticket stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah. Not, it's a little bit more complex than that, but like
Mhm.
from low ticket to mid ticket, at least 10%, at least. And so for me, I looked at our stuff from February. I'm like, we're not hitting that 10% number. Something is weird, something is funky. And so then I duplicated everything, didn't work. I duplicated again, now everything is working. But still, I'm not having a high enough percentage of people that are buying the mid-ticket stuff. And so for me, I'm just keeping an eye on it. So all that to say is this is I don't know if you want to do this, but like, how you have your discovery call, like, because you're saying like, hey, the quality of the leads is not high right now. I don't know if maybe something you want to do is like put in there like number of qualified leads, number of qualified.
Mm.
This way, hey, I should consistently be at this about this number.
Okay.
That's done.
Okay. Do you recommend doing that with like the old data and like kind of going through? I can see that kind of. I mean, I guess it like, yeah, that may take like quite a bit of time because I'd have to kind of go through all that. But moving forward, maybe.
Yeah, maybe moving forward. And that's why I led with like I don't want this to feel like,
Yeah.
But the reason I just bring that up is like that's one of the first thing that came to my mind when you said like I got 2 leads and they weren't the best. I'm like, is this based off of numbers? Or is this based off of feeling, right? Numbers or feeling, right?
Right. Right.
I was kind of
Yeah,
thinking,
and that's why it was hard for me to kind of determine like, yeah, it's not a good ad set. Like it could be, I have a few of those. Like lately, there was one, like I think that one run from like December to like end of January, February, that was like pretty good. I feel like I was rarely getting like leads that I felt like weren't that qualified. Um, but again, I think it's more appealing right now.
well, my fingers are crossed, man. My fingers are crossed.
Yeah.
Still. Anything else, dude? Anything else that you want to chop it up? Oh,
No, I think that's it.
cool. All right, man. Well, you want to hang out some more, or if you want to bounce, whatever, we'll circle
Cool.
back.
Sounds good.
Um, I think next we had Billy. Um, so where are you in terms of the material so far, Billy?
I'm about a little more than halfway through the 2.5 hour, the 2.5 hour, what's the
Gotcha. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Are you can be watching stuff at double speed, by the way. I don't know if that's something you do.
Yeah,
when you're-
I started it last night. I just have been having a lot. I've been watching a lot of stuff at double speed, just kind of going through. Just because I don't feel like I have as much time to spare. So
Okay. Well, in that case, because the reason I was asking is like I didn't want to go in there and just say a bunch of stuff that you had already listened to. So it sounds like there's another video that awaits you, and that video goes more into the specifics of like how to pick like a good niche and some of the factors involved. And so I think just watching that will help you a lot. And then from there, I typically like to sprinkle in like my additional 2 cents. Um, my some of the things I look at these days is just like when I look at like permanent makeup artists and all that, it's like it's pretty easy to get book calls with them, which is awesome. And then it's pretty easy to get them results. And they don't have to be really amazing at sales, which is great. The problem that is with that niche, in my opinion, is just like what I've noticed with like, for example, some friends of mine that are tattoo artists, like they would get booked, they'd be booked out by June for the rest of the year.
Mhm.
And so then it's like they're literally work from June to the end of the year. They're in the office, they're doing tattoos, and they're literally like saying no to money
yeah,
because they can't duplicate themselves. And so that's the one thing that I was thinking to myself, like, how would I solve that problem? So if that's something you wanted to do, that's one thing and I was trying to like think to myself, how would I solve that problem? Maybe I could start recruiting side of the business where I would recruit other apprentices or people that could be part of that. And then they had a training program to show them how to be apprentice. And now they can take up they can accept more money, for example. Like those are the kinds of things I was thinking about. So that's pretty much it, man. That's all that like aside from that, like I mean, there's not really a whole bunch I can say other than like I don't think you can really fail at that niche.
cool. Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep diving through the content, and just I'll pick a couple more too, and do all the research and stuff, and make sure I get the stuff over to you guys soon to get your guys' ideas.
What are some other niches that maybe you don't feel strongly about any other niche, but like what are some maybe other things that maybe
Um,
you
A chiropractic's always been cool to me. I always think it's like a cool business model. It's kind of funny. It's just kind of a side connection. I have a guy who he runs a company. He was a chiropractor for like 15, 20 years. He runs a company that helps other chiropractors build successful chiropractic businesses, like by like actually running the business, not like Facebook ads or any stuff. Like how do you go from hiring staff and how do you run your practice? And he does like a bunch of different things like that, but he runs an entire thing like that. So that just from the amount of knowledge I've had working with him doing video stuff of how many chiropractors are in the nation, that was kind of another interest. And then the third, I just really haven't really thought much of a third one so far, but I had a couple ideas that I wanted to look into a little bit further.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a great opportunity. Just you having access to somebody like him, like
Mhm.
in my mind, just, I mean, I know I could, I don't know if this is what I would do for sure, but I know that I had an opportunity to go in and create like a low ticket course or something with that guy, and
Yeah.
get that like the ecosystem and bring other chiropractors into the ecosystem, and they could teach like he could teach like that kind of side, and I could teach like the ad side, for example, or I could get it into a low ticket course, and then maybe there's a section within the course that literally directs them to contact you to do the marketing, right? That would be like next level things, is like you literally build up your own like warm traffic referral source by selling this course. So there's a bunch of different things you can do with that. The
If
only
you
thing,
go into Cairo, Billy, let me know because I was kind of exploring Cairo for a little bit, and there's a guy that lived by me. He's a chiropractor. His name is Joe Borio, but he basically does the same thing that you're talking about, but he has his own practice as well, and he kind of teaches on like the side as well. So he has like all these main events. So I was really interested in what he was doing. So I just booked an appointment through like one of his ads and went through like literally the entire process from A to Z and like wrote down what his staff and everything said to me. So I have like that entire thing if you want it as well. I just have to find it. Like there's a piece of paper somewhere. I know where it is in my room, but literally like I wrote down everything that they said. So I know that that would be super helpful too if you decide to go that route.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I'd love that. Yes, I'm just kind of debating on which ones I wanted to go to, but chiropractic, permanent makeup have just been Because also I like both of them too. Because like I've helped my mother-in-law out a ton of like making social media content and stuff like that in the past and website videos and stuff like that. But like I really like chiropractic as well. So I think those are both are stuff. Either one of those is something I'm super could get super passionate about down the road too, instead of it just being something that I'm not super passionate about.
Yeah.
So
I think either, yeah, like you said, either one of those are, you're gonna be fine. It is known that chiropractors have more, you know, their spidey senses are much higher,
Mhm.
because there's just like so much BS in the market. So many people a lot of chiropractors have hired an agency and like they haven't gotten great results. So you have to get over it kind of that with that industry. With Mason, for example, he does personal trainers and those guys have huge buyer sophistication. So like they don't want to opt in anything because they feel like they've seen everything. So certain niches are a little bit harder to market to and sell. So those people are a little bit harder to market to, in my opinion, and a little bit harder like to sell. And so your offer has to be like next level, and then you have to really kill doubt, fear, objections, all that stuff on your sales call. So that's like the thing with those guys. Whereas to permanent makeup, I don't think so much.
cool. Cool. Good to know.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, we'll wait to hear back from you. And you know, I kind of share with you, like, I know you've been busy, but I don't know if you had a chance to read this, but just to kind of help you pace along, I think this is important as well. You know, for this month, you're picking the niche, getting the funnel launched, getting the funnel built, and getting ads launched would be crucial, so that all of next month we could just dial things in. Like Tony and Adam right now, they're at this stage,
Mm.
and time is like really dwindling down for those guys, and so that's why I'm like sound like a dead, a broken record, telling them to do the same thing over and over again of like get launched, get launched, get launched, get launched. It can be a little bit stressful. So, but yeah, just trying to kind of like help you pace yourself.
Cool. Sounds great. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Um, anything else, Billy?
No, I think I don't have really any other questions until I dive a little bit deeper. So
Cool. All right, man. We'll circle back to you if you have more questions.
cool.
I think we just have Jacob left. Jacob, are you there or did he bounce? I think he bounced. Okay.
He said something in chat a while ago. Gotta bug out for a minute. I'll be back later. But he said that at 6:30.
Okay. Well, in that case, I mean, does anybody have anything else they want to chop it up about? Mason, anything you want to chop it up about with the guys?
Got
Um,
a last second question here.
On
This is a good end of meeting discussion, which is this still a good time to buy Bitcoin?
I knew you were
I
gonna say
don't-
who does anybody else here buy crypto other than my ugly mug, Tony's ugly mug, Ethan's ugly mug? Anybody else in a crypto? Billy in a crypto? No? Uh, a good time to buy crypto was when I told you to buy crypto.
2 months ago.
Damn.
There's
Yeah, uh,
go for it. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was like, I was gonna like buy some, and then there was like the added layer of like buying straight from the stores and adding it to your wallet. I'm like, all right, not sure if I can figure all that out.
Getting things to your wallet isn't that
Hey, everyone.
complicated. That's something I can help you out with. But this is a good video to watch just to kind of understand like the risk level. This is just a good video to watch. Benjamin Cohen is his latest video. I don't know. I really don't know if this is like, you know, I think it is, but like if I were you, I kind of gave you my suggestion of like what I would buy. I probably wouldn't buy Bitcoin at this point.
Yeah, the altcoins.
It depends on your risk tolerance. Like if you want to be super safe, just buy this and just take whatever you can get from it, and then that's what I would do. But if you want to be a little bit more risky, and then I would buy the other portfolio stuff. And I think that still has, yeah.
I already have decision fatigue, so
Right.
probably not. Maybe I'll see how this wave goes in 4 years. So now I'll hit you up and you know.
Tony, you got an opinion for Amun? Amun's asking if you should buy Bitcoin.
Buy the dip. If you miss it, you might It may go to 100K, it may go back down to 40 something soon, but it's probably going to go one of those directions fairly soon. If it dips, I would recommend buying it right then.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Some people are saying that it'll come in April, like the sell-off will come
Yeah.
in April because a lot of stuff is it's pretty overvalued right now. So maybe in April it'll go down and just zoom out and look at it and try to pick a resistance, like pick a dip and just tell yourself whenever it hits that dip again or it gets close to that, just buy as much as you can or as much as
Buy
you
it
feel
either-
safe.
Yeah, I mean the having or the happening as people are calling it, is set to come around April 10th now. It was like, or maybe even like sooner. I don't know. It was the 20th, but it keeps going up because people keep buying it. So it does have a lot. I mean, the fact that like BlackRock and Microstock Group own as much as they do right now, it's like, I don't know. People are saying this time's different. I don't know. I mean, I still have a lot of USD waiting to see if I'm right about a dip, but I'm bullish on the market as a whole. I mean, altcoins are crushing right now. Yeah, it feels good because 2 years ago I lost a lot of unrealized gains, so I'm getting them back finally.
One thing that I thought was cool. Are you guys, Tony, Adam, are you guys familiar with Ben and his like Into the Cryptoverse tool?
No, I don't think so.
So here's what's
Like the
really
paid, is that like the paid thing?
yeah, this is his like software that like tracks on-chain metrics and everything. So what's really cool about this is there's like so here's what he does. He literally tells us is he says that he buys from 0.0 risk to like 0.4. And so each of these are color coded. And again, how he created the algorithm and how he did this, I don't know, but it's been like, you know how you have like the stock to flow model, you have certain things that break over time. Like it's true until it's not true. This has always been true. So this is one of the only things that's 100% been true until from the very beginning to now. And it's caught everything. So point is like, I'll let you like watch it yourself and figure yourself. But what's interesting is that, so he personally will buy up to 0.4 and then 0.45, he doesn't do anything. 0.5 from 0.6 to 1, he'll sell. And so that's like the risk metric. So he buys below 0.4, he doesn't do anything until 0.67, and then he sells 0.67 to 1, and he like ladders out. So here's what's interesting. What he did in this video that I thought was really cool is I don't know exactly where the timestamp is, but I made a note of this. Is what he did is and you can like break it down. Like you can say, okay, I just want to show the risk metric from like 0.6 to 0.7 or 0.7 to 0.8 or 0.8, 0.9. And so he did that. And what I wrote down is this, is 0.7 to 0.8 risk metric, 131 days. That's how long it's been. That's how long it stays in there. 0.7 to 0.8 to 0.9, 80 days. And then 0.9 to 1, 18 days. In other words, the risk level that it's at right now, this level right here of 0.7, the maximum it can stay there is 131 days. And then 80 days for the next one, and then 18 days. So in other words, if it just goes up and up and up, right? Again, maybe it won't. Hopefully there's a dip, but if it just goes up and up and up, if you calculate it out, it's literally 7 months. So 4, 5, 6, 7 months. 7 months is like the maximum it can go before it peaks, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Where is he saying it's at right now, Koishik?
He's saying it's at, so if you look at the chart,
Uh-huh.
if you guys can see right here, if you guys can see that color, it's an orangish color.
Right.
That color is this color right here, 0.7 to 0.8. So it hit 0.7 and it's, I don't know, I think it's like I think it was like 7 days that it's been here. And it can be here a maximum in 130 days.
He's saying don't buy there. You
He
only buy
personally,
from
he
0.14.
personally doesn't. He personally doesn't buy. He personally starts selling. And so if it goes up and to the right, what's going to happen? It's going to go from 0.78 orange to darker orange to like red. That's what happens if it just keeps going up to right now. If on the other hand, it goes like this and then it comes down and then now we might get longer than 7 months because it's going to go orange, hot orange, and then it's going to come down to like blue, green, and then it's going to get red again. So that's how I can see it elongate. But as of right now, if it keeps doing what it has been doing, which is just boom, 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 then we got 7 months before that's it. And that's like end of 2024.
That'd be something else. That's a good reason to have a little alt and a little Bitcoin, a little Ethereum. Just not put everything in one, you know. But like I said before, I sold at that like 68 point and then got maybe like 4 or 5 thousand liquid just to sit on to make sure that I was right, you know. And I bought some of the dip, that little 63 dip, you know. But it is hard to say now what's gonna happen. Especially, I mean, it hit all-time high again today, man. That's freaking crazy. You know, it's like we might hit all-time highs for the next
Little bit.
months. Who fucking knows, you know? Or just like you said, go to 47, which I'll buy that dip for sure. And then come back up real fast.
If you guys have you looked at like the difference between when the alts peak versus Bitcoin peaks in the prior past
Yeah.
20 days? That's it. It's like 20 days. So, I plan on just selling. Like this is what I've always done is I just sell at the same day. I don't try to like sell my alts later. I just sell all on the same day. And for me, I use this and then I use the Bicycle top, and that's worked pretty well for me.
So I've always been interested in this. I just kind of have a couple questions since you guys have been in this for a while. So when you sell your coin, do you have a certain, because do you sell it just to cash or do you sell it to a different coin, or what do you do with your Bitcoin? Because I know that there's like isn't there a certain limit of time that your money can stay in USD before you have capital gains tax on that? Or how does that all work out? I have no idea.
Yeah. So in terms of capital gains tax, there's short term, there's long term, and anytime you do anything, there's gains now. So whether you go from Bitcoin to USD, you go into another altcoin, whatever you trade, if there's a trade that's made, there's capital gains taxes. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Billy?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But waiting a year to take your money out in general is a really good idea because you can change your capital gains tax from 30% to 15%. If you take it out within 30 days after making it, they consider you a day trader. And not only do they slap you with 30%, but they put a little flag on your mailbox.
Hmm.
Or you can do what I'm doing, which is moving to Puerto Rico for 6 months. So I've got a conversation with a lawyer here on Thursday, and I can share the deets with you guys in terms of taxes if anybody's interested in moving to Puerto Rico. I know most people probably don't want to go that far in terms of trying to save on taxes, but
I'll go as far as I need to. I don't want to pay any tax.
it is so much. It is insane. It's like they're trying to take like half your money, bro. It's insane.
Dude, I watched this video a little while back talking about between sales tax, all the taxes that would go even through like inheritance and death tax. Like you lose like anywhere from 75 to 90% of your money over your lifetime to taxes.
I'm not surprised.
So ridiculous.
Yeah. So
I lived in Puerto Rico for a year for real. So if you need some advice about being there, I got it.
for sure. I've joined like all these Facebook groups for Puerto Rico to try to like figure stuff out. I will 100% be taking you up on that and bothering you all about Puerto Rico.
Bring
For
it.
And these coaching calls are gonna be from the beach next time I see you.
We joked about this, I think last week, where we said like at the end of every single coaching call for the rest of the year or the bull cycle, we're just gonna have like a crypto session. But so Aman, I know we didn't like directly answer your question.
I think I'm a little bit more confused now. So
I mean, like, yeah, I really don't know. Like, it's
yeah.
getting more and
I
more.
feel like I just have to learn more about how all this works first and just kind of
you're never gonna fully learn, bro. Like, there's too much to learn. Honestly, there's way too much to learn. You just have to make a decision, honestly. You just have to make a decision. Like, I will be honest, like back in the day, I try to like learn about it and I spent countless hours doing research, and I just realized like I don't know shit, bro. Like people like me, I mean, people like you might know because you have an engineering I'm sorry, a computer science background. So like it might be stuff that you can pick up, but there's just like so much to freaking learn, bro.
yeah. And honestly, not even that. It's just like I didn't even understand how to like where to buy it from and then the whole wallet thing. So like literally like just the things like that and like how to actually just use it more than like the
For that
actual patterns.
for that stuff, like it's inside the course. Like there's a course, the crypto course, you should
Yeah.
like that. I go over all that stuff in there.
Buy a Tracer. That's what I use.
Yeah,
Wait, what was it called?
Trezor.
Trezor. Okay. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, so everything is literally inside the crypto course, like where to go, where to buy it, how to buy it, all that stuff. So if you're interested, the decision
Yeah,
you make is like your
that's
risk.
that one free course, right? That of that one guy.
Oh yeah, no. So yeah, he's got a course as well. What I'm talking about is this 3-day crypto.
Oh, there's a. Oh, okay. I didn't know this was there.
Yeah, so we got some.
Oh, sick. Okay, yeah, I can definitely go through that. But
I would go through his stuff though. Go through his stuff first before you go through this stuff, I would say. Because stuff is really solid. Um,
cool.
anything else anybody wants to go over for the Bitcoin?
Did you want to ask them about the gym? I don't know.
Um,
We might have.
Talk to them more about
I feel like our gym might be like unsellable. It's like trying to get people to go to a McDonald's that's open from like 1 p.m. till like 4 p.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays that only serves breakfast.
That's what your gym
I
is
hate
like.
that shit. That shit pisses me off.
I mean, ours is unique, man. You know what I mean? Like they've been happy for sure. Like our leads, we were kind of experiencing what you were talking about with that like full on drop off double out of nowhere on Facebook leads. So we went from like getting like 4 to 5 a day easy to like nothing for 3 days, and then when it finally came back, it was like twice the money. So
Okay.
we duplicated, put the actual video that we ran because we weren't even running that, and we're trying that one now. Um, I don't know. I mean, they have like such wonky hours. It's not like a place where you can just go work out yourself, right? It's like literally like only classes, PT or semi PT.
there's no mirrors in there either.
There are no mirrors. They like to say that, but
This gym sounds exactly like the one that I work for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, maybe you can have them, and we'll move on. I was kidding. No, I mean they're cool, but like it's a pain, and it feels like we're starting to like we're trying to sell this thing that like is unsellable because everyone's objections are like, oh, they have really weird hours, or I can't just go on my own, or all these things that are like normal. There's no contracts. Like I don't know, man. You know,
What times do they have available to take consults? Is it just like whack times or
the console times are whack too. I mean the actual like times for
The
the
classes.
classes, and they're not even open really on weekends. They only do PT and
if I were you, dude, like I wouldn't even sell the classes. Like for your front end offer, dude, like don't sell classes.
They don't even have, I mean, yeah, I mean, we have to come up with something out of midair then because they don't even have.
Gotta be, I'm telling you, do one-on-one and then go into group classes. That should be your downsell. That should be like that should be the thing that you sell next.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be comfortable with you. Like imagine going to the gym by yourself. That's like scary enough alone. You're gonna throw them in there with like 20 other people. Like they don't want to do that. You know what I mean? That's like one of the things. But
10
like,
one-on-one sessions for X amount of money kind of thing.
say that again.
Like 10 one-on-one PT sessions for X amount of money is what you're alluding to.
I wouldn't even say like the number. Like I wouldn't be like X amount of sessions. I would just say like 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Like don't be like, oh, you get this amount of sessions, this and that.
Okay.
Typically, like it's 2 or 3 times a week, like the training sessions, but like I would just sell them the personal training and then like as the person, the trainer that's working out with them, just be like, hey, like I do group classes too. You should get in on those. So instead of going 3 times or like 2 times a week with me, we go 3, and I'll be the lead instructor. And I know exactly where you are anyway, so I'll be working alongside you.
Mhm.
And then if you think about it, they already paid for the one-on-one, but you can give them the group classes for free. And then you can be like, hey, like if you want to continue with this, like I'm gonna throw you in the group classes for this rate.
Cool. Cool. I mean, we're still getting people to show up. You know, there's been like time objections more than anything though. So it's
They
like
just can't sell it. Like, are they having a hard time selling it?
I think they're getting objections for time more than anything, but we've been trying to sell the classes more than PT. There's like a PT, they have like an upsell that's like add 4 classes of PT and semi PT for like
Yeah,
100.
you should lead with PT, and then throw in the group classes.
Okay.
That's like the biggest tip ever. Like if you just tell them to do that, like that's gonna be way better.
Okay.
So are you guys you guys are obviously running the ads. Are you guys saying that you guys are handling discovery qualifying calls? Is that what you're saying?
We took over for a week because we felt like they were sucking and we wanted to show them how to do it the right way. And I think we did. Like we definitely, I mean, I made a couple looms, did like 2 or 3 10-minute recordings of my phone calls, and now we need to walk them through it. We're about to hand the baton back off. But yeah, I kind of wanted to keep them around long enough to have a better case study, get a testimonial from them, and just like be successful for what we were aiming towards. But you know, we
How
definitely
many consults do you think they've had?
probably 8,
And then how many do you think they sold?
2.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not
How
bad.
much have you spent on ads?
The problem was that I think the problem was that they weren't driving them to console. They were like, "Oh, you don't want the gym membership? Like, don't worry about it. Y'all have a great day." And I'm like, "No, no." You know what I mean? Like, what's happening? And then I saw like on their DMs, they were just like leaving open-ended conversations. You'd be like, "Well, what about Monday at 5:30 p.m.?" And it like didn't get responded to for 24 hours or whatever, you know? So I've seen a
Mhm.
lot of ball drops in terms of like their nurturing process for certain
Mhm.
and their initial like get ass in the door. I think they're giving way too much information up front and accepting no for an answer very easily, not having options, you know.
Let me send you.
I'm gonna eat this food out. But
So you guys said something along the lines of like, you're kind of like what I'm getting is you guys are kind of like you guys are feeling frustrated pulling your hair out in terms of them. The question I was asking is like, what is your responsibility and what are you doing? Because again, you have these other things that are higher leverage activities. So that's why I was kind of asking you is like, okay, what's going on so that you can kind of make a decision of like what you should do from here on out. That's why I was kind of asking all these questions. Um, I mean, so it sounds like at this point, like they're handling the discovery calls. Are they doing a discovery call? Or are they having a conversation on the DMs and then getting them to show up in person?
they were doing text at first too, yes. And that was not working at all, and they sucked at it. So I was like, you have to call them. And then I got them to call,
Yeah.
text, you know, and that started to work for them. But their conversion rate wasn't very good in terms of getting people to the consult. So then we took over and then we got like 50% better results, of course, right off the bat there. So then we're gonna be sending them like 2 or 3 Loom calls and then tossing the baton back this week and be like, this is how we did this. This is what you're doing wrong. If you want to continue, you need to do this, and this, you know.
Okay. And so you've kind of got that off your plate at this point then.
More or less, yeah. We got 2 more days of taking the sales calls, but we're doing it for like, I mean, we're not, we'll
Discovery
follow
calls. Wait, slow down. Discovery
every
calls, right? Not sales call.
we're just pushing into the console.
Okay.
Um, we've only got 2 more days left of that, and I think we've got like 3 leads a day, so it's not like this long thing. Like it should be 10 minutes. Boom.
Okay. No, I was just making sure again that you guys are not like burning yourselves out. And I would say that what you guys have gone through is like such a valuable lesson because now, again, let's say you take on this dog groomer, right? A dog groomer comes on. Now maybe you should be thinking like, okay, I'm gonna bring them on, and then the way I'm gonna treat that relationship is I'm gonna tell them, hey, we're gonna get the leads for you, we're gonna do the discovery calls, we're gonna do the sales calls, we're gonna record ourselves doing everything. And then once it is all done, we're gonna hand it over to you on a silver platter, and then you just need to copy and paste what we're doing. So that literally becomes part of your service delivery.
Right.
Yep.
But it gives you an opportunity to literally do what you did for this past.
Backwards. Yeah,
Exactly.
we did backwards.
It's a learning lesson,
Yeah.
right? So now you would deliberately do that, and then ideally, it's going to be so good that you're going to be able to use it for the next dog groomer and the next dog groomer, and then eventually you're going to be able to get them to record it and then replace your own videos with the even better videos.
Mm.
So I would say, I mean, that's a win in my book in terms of your experience. So
Yeah. No, it's been, I have no regrets with this. Like we've been stoked with just going through the whole process and having the gym and, learning a bunch of mistakes there. And I feel like we're in a good place. We're just, as always, a couple weeks behind.
no, just you're learning. There's no such thing as being a few weeks behind because there's always the next thing to learn. There's
Yeah.
always, and if you're talking about time constraint, I understand where you're coming from in terms of that. But cool, man. Aside from that, anything else that you guys wanted to? I mean, I'm glad you guys brought that up.
I think that's it.
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Couple
Yeah.
more weeks left.
Yeah. Okay. Mason, anything else that you wanted to share? You gym nerds?
Um, No, oh, yeah, I mean, you guys probably aren't gonna do this, but I just dropped a website in the chat. There's a video on there that I have people watch before they go into the consults. If you want to give that a watch.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Cool, guys. Anything else? Billy, Daniel, Aman. Okay. All right. Well, if that's everything, then we'll see you guys here next week. Peace.
See you guys.